All right, welcome back to Impossible Versus Matches, where we take pop culture characters, pit them against each other, and improvise, how they'd cross over, kind of like a Freddy versus Jason, Godzilla versus King Kong type scenario. Join with me is my good friend Jose. Say hello.
Hello, I'm back again, and we got a lot more shit to talk about.
Yes, we do. If you don't know the rules of the show, you should already. This is episode I don't know, probably 15 or something. It's up there, so you should know by now. But anyway, we're just going to roll right into it. Jose, this is your second time on the show. Would you
Yes.
like to start?
Uh, no.
Okay. You know what? All that matters is that you had the choice.
Yes.
So go ahead and spin your wheel of your character selection and see who I've got to deal with.
See who we got right here. Okay, so we have Shigo from Kim Possible.
Ah, okay. Very, very interesting. Let's see who I've got. Hmm. Okay, so this is not going to be a matchup because this is almost the same universe type thing. It is Disney versus Disney, like TV show versus TV show. Because
Okay.
I got Scrooge McDuck.
Ooh, all right.
So we can choose. Either you can re-roll or I can re-roll, but we're going to keep one of them.
Um, let's. I'll re-roll.
Okay.
Let's keep Scrooge McDuck.
Okay, fair enough. I've been waiting for him. He's been on the list since day one.
There's a lot you could do with Scrooge. So we're gonna go to Eddie Gordo from Tekken.
Oh, okay. Tell me real quick, which one is that?
Eddie Gordo is the guy who does capoeira.
Oh yeah, okay.
All legs.
All right. Okay. I can see this. I can see this. All right. So here we are at, the Tekken tournament. All the fighters are going against each other.
The King of the Iron
And
Fist tournament, yes.
what was that?
The King of the Iron Fist tournament, yes.
Yes. Okay. I'm not versed in Tekken lore, but I know a few of the characters. I've played it a few times.
Don't
But
worry, I'm here.
I don't know the actual plot. But that's why you're here.
Yes.
But yeah, so he's fighting in the tournament and he wins and he becomes like and he's got all his glory and then a bunch of corporate suits come out and they want to get his face for merchandising.
Ooh, that's good. That's good because the winner of the King of the Iron Fist tournament gains control of the Mishima Zaibatsu, which is basically a giant corporation.
Ah,
So this works out.
okay. Well, as it turns out, he's now the head of a corporation then, going by that.
Yes.
Okay.
More or less.
Okay, so he's getting his prize of becoming, the head of this corporation. People are getting his face for merchandising, and he's all happy. But then something happens, and he realizes that he's actually not the head of the corporation because it just got bought out by none other than the richest duck in Duckburg,
Oh my God.
McDuck.
Hostile takeover.
That's right. Absolute hostile takeover from Scrooge McDuck taking over the corporation
The
that
Mishima's
now,
Zaibatsu.
yes, that one. And he doesn't like this one bit because he fought all this way to get here, and now he finds out that he's demoted now, and Scrooge McDuck is trying to make this very, very commercial in order to get more money. So the people who are getting his face for merchandising are, to capitalize on the victory and stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So put his face on towels and posters, games, all that sort of stuff. Very commercial. Spaceballs, the flamethrower. Uh, merchandise. And
Merchandising. Merchandising.
so he does not care for this one bit because that is not what he fought for, really. So he makes his way up the incredibly tall tower to where Scrooge McDuck is waiting for him, having just gotten done with a money bath. I feel bad because I've already forgotten this character's name.
Eddie Gordo.
Eddie Gordo.
Capoeira guy.
Yeah. So he's like, hey man, I don't really, care for all this merchandising. Scrooge McDuck is like, well, we need more money. And so he's like, you don't have enough money? He's like, no, there's never enough money. So now Eddie realizes that he has to fight one more person in order to gain the control that he wants. But Scrooge McDuck, if you're familiar with the duck lore, um, does not care for that one bit.
Yes.
Because Scrooge McDuck will risk everyone's life for a dime. He has.
He has.
Yes, he has several times. In fact, he has somehow been able to move faster than the speed of light to catch a coin that was falling on the other side of a river or something. Like, this man is an absolute monster, and Eddie's got a little bit more than he's bargained for because when motivated by money, or perhaps, maybe, the pain of his loved ones, but mostly money. I've I have read a comic where Scrooge McDuck rips apart an entire boat with his bare hands, motivated for money. So this ends up becoming like a battle that possibly levels the skyscraper that this is all taking place in. Because Scrooge wants the money, and he's met with an impossible force of someone that does not care as much for the money.
Right, right.
And mainly wants to be humble. And Scrooge is like, I can't possibly be humble. I have a giant vault with my money that has my initials on it, which is bigger than the building.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay.
So it's basically all from a disagreement, but the whole thing has started because Scrooge took over the corporation that Eddie has fought so hard to win.
Okay. All right. I can see it.
And I think that's the furthest that I could possibly go. But Scrooge McDuck is an absolutely broken Tekken boss, and he'll beat your ass.
Have you played any like DuckTales games where you play as Scrooge McDuck?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so you know exactly like
The cane.
all the shit that he can do with that cane.
Yes. I've also read a few Scrooge McDuck comics, and it only gets more ridiculous from there, really.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as like Tekken goes, like I've gone into arcades that have had Tekken, and I've played a decent amount of Tekken, but like I don't know the plot because I'm just putting quarters in the machine.
Right.
Um,
Understandable.
but yeah, this is a force of, like the most an impossible flex versus extreme humbleness.
Mm-hmm. I get that.
Is when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And considering you've never like followed up on like fucking Tekken lore, that was pretty accurate to what's going on.
Yeah, I wasn't actually expecting I wasn't expecting you to bring that company into this. I was just going to go like what I was originally going to go with was all these people come out and try and get his face for like merchandising and stuff, and it turns out that like Scrooge had like bought the rights to his image or something like that.
Oh, that's good too. Yeah.
Which I guess kind of ties into this, and like basically Eddie wants like he wants his image back, like to make whatever he wants of it instead of becoming a whatever Scrooge wants him to be, which also somehow happens to be an allegory for the Disney Corporation itself, of taking things and then making them squeaky clean.
Okay.
But that's what I've got for this matchup. So I guess it is your turn.
Okay. I spin first for this next one.
I'm spinning for you right now, and go ahead and spin your wheel. I've got Officer Carl Winslow.
Ooh, Family Matters. Gotcha.
Yes, this is actually the second time that Family Matters has been mentioned on this show already.
Interesting. And I have Mo Sizlak.
I like this.
Yeah.
And this is the third time The Simpsons has been here. Very
Yeah,
good.
they got a lot of
returning.
characters to work with, so yeah.
Yep.
Do what you got to do.
Yep, we've used Flanders and Milhouse, and am with Milhouse going against Lightning McQueen and Flanders going against Sheedy from The Good Place. And we've also used Steve Urkel going against Ellen Ripley from the Alien series. So let's see what happens when Carl Winslow and Mo Sizlak go against each other.
Okay. So, Mo, running Mo's Tavern of Simpsons fame, has a less than stellar reputation. He's into all kinds of schemes and all kinds of nonsense behind the scenes. He's not exactly on the up and up when it comes to running a legitimate business.
The killer whale kidnapping, as an example.
In particular, yes. Sorry, I'm a little distracted by some homeless people getting into fights outside.
Speaking of impossible versus matches,
that Mo is involved with. So, Carl wasn't necessarily like a detective of sorts. He was more like a beat cop. And transitioned to a desk job as the show went on.
Mm-hmm.
But he understands when something's up because he's dealt with Urkel enough to know that things are fishy and out of place. He sort of has a trouble sense, as it were, and he just happens to be on transfer to Springfield for a temporary thing. Chief Wiggum got sick. Ended up getting the whole precinct sick. So, they called in a lot of cops from different places. So you're seeing cops from all kinds of shows just in town to try and help out. So this is a full on police crossover. You got Columbo, you got Detective Peralta, you got all kinds of people from all sorts of different shows arriving into town to kind of help out Springfield while they're in trouble.
Huh.
So, cool. Carl Winslow, he's kind of a vet, so he gets basically voted into police chief by his peers. He's very respected in his industry. And
Springfield doesn't have high standards either.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's not like Springfield's got a whole lot to fill with those. So
yeah, exactly.
The Springfield Police Department hands Carl his duties as police chief, and that includes kind of making the rounds as chief to all the local spots. Because according to the schedule, it's all just saying hi, doing things that Police Chief Wiggum does, and he just whatever. But Chief Wiggum would be going around accepting bribes around this time. It's not like Mo keeps up with his permits or his licensing or anything like that, right?
Of course.
It's not like the nuclear power plant is up to code by any stretch. You know what I'm saying?
No.
It's all just so Police Chief Wiggum can just get his bribes and kick back and get fat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, Chief Wiggum's not in charge right now, so Carl Winslow coming in, just doing his rounds, just gonna say hi to people, and Mo tries to give him a bribe, tries to give him a little kickback, and Carl's like, "Hold on a sec, what's this all about?" And some conflict ensues. Mo's just like, "Take the damn money."
That was a pretty good Mo.
Carl, who is a very good cop, he's a very honorable cop. he doesn't put up with any bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, what the hell is this all about? And he he brings Mo in, or he tries to arrest Mo.
Right.
But Mo's packing that shotgun behind the bar.
He is.
So we're in a standoff. Things can go wrong very easily.
Yes.
Like just on the basis of that alone, Carl Winslow, he's a good cop. Mo Sizlak is a shady character. He might be a businessman. He might be a legitimate businessman, but he's also involved in a lot of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So that naturally puts him up against good cop Carl Winslow.
We're not even 100% sure that Mo even has a business license.
Exactly.
Yep.
How did he even get the bar? Is there an episode about that? Probably.
Yeah, who knows?
It's out there.
Dive into The Simpsons, American One Piece.
Kinda.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, Carl Winslow wouldn't take any of that. He's a good cop. He has been since Die Hard.
Exactly. It's the same cop.
Yep. It's the greatest crossover, really. I am almost more interested in how there's a crossover that it's Springfield, but it's like every cop from like every like fictional cop. That's very interesting.
Yes. I really like that idea of like Springfield, like just the police are out of town for whatever reason, or like sick, or like whatever. You just need a bunch of cops, and then they just invite all the police cops. Since based on this universe that we've created with this show, every dimension is in the same world anyway. So yes, Springfield can put out a call and get the T-1000 or like whoever.
Oh shit! Even the T-1000. Wow. I didn't know you were counting him as an actual cop.
Yeah, of course. He's wearing the uniform. He blends in with cops.
Okay, fair
Whether
enough.
or not he's a good cop is a different story altogether.
Yeah. Oh, wow! The world just got bigger. Very fun. Very fun. We have fun in our department.
We have fun here.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess we're going to move on to we're going to move right on to the next one. And let's see what crazy adventure we get into this time. Go ahead and spin your wheel. I hope what you get is good.
Here we go.
Because I got a really fun one.
Okay. I have Trevor from GTA 5.
Fantastic. All right. Just to clarify, Trevor's like the bald, like maniac one, right?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. He's going up against, get ready for this. I don't know his name, but Lil Bow Wow's character in Like Mike.
Jesus Christ. Oh, God. I don't know his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Lil Bow Wow's character in Like Mike. Hold on, let me
You got to IMDb that real quick.
I've got it right here. I've got Like Mike on me right now. We're good.
You have Like Mike on you?
It's on the shelf. Calvin is his name.
Jesus Christ.
I'm recording this in the library. I have the in my library. I have the tape. All right. Calvin. Okay, Calvin from Like Mike is I honestly think this actually writes itself because I'm obviously this writes itself because Calvin wants to be like Mike, and he wishes on the shoes that get struck by lightning, giving him Michael Jordan's abilities. Trevor gets wind of, Trevor is, he's going around in the city, thinking of his next thing that he's going to do.
Next big score.
Yeah, and he goes by a basketball court, and he sees Lil Bow Wow there, going up and down the court, just like Mike. and he's like, wow, that kid can ball. So because Calvin, the little orphan boy, is being like Mike. So I'm going to try and say like Mike as many times as I can in this scenario. Um, so, so he sees his kid being like Mike, and he's like, hey, that kid's like Mike. And, well, so he's like, he wants to make a profit off of this somehow. And so he notices that, like, uh, the game finishes, like he's there watching. I mean, I don't think that's uncommon, to be like in the inner city area, and like some people are playing basketball and he's just chilling there, checking out the game. Nothing too crazy there. I mean, Calvin's playing with like adults, like he's crushing them. And he notices that when the game is over, Calvin puts his sneakers into like a shoebox and puts on like some different shoes to go like walking around, and takes them with him. And so Trevor's like, "Hey kid, we can make a lot of money because you're like really good at basketball."
Mhm.
And he's like, "Oh no, man, I'm not that good." And he's like, "No, what do you mean? You're just like Mike." And and he's like, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about, man." So he's like, "No, come on, play some basketball with me right now." And so he's like, "Fine," because he doesn't want his secret to get out, Calvin.
Right.
So he's going to play in his regular shoes. And
Mhm.
I don't see what. I'm sure GTA 5 has a basketball game you can play in it. You can do a shit ton of stuff in GTA 5.
Oddly enough,
Um,
there's not.
oh, well, you know what? They're in a city, and Trevor is a person, so he can play basketball.
Yeah, of course.
Um, so, so he starts, getting all squared up to play basketball with Lil Bow Wow, and to see if he is indeed like Mike.
Yeah,
And so
prove his
basically,
likeness.
yeah, what is his likeness to the Mikeness? And so Trevor is, he's an asshole, so he's using like his he's using like underhanded tactics, like he's trying to trip him up and stuff like that. Like
He's playing frisbee
Trevor
ball.
this grown ass man is dunking on this child. and he's like, "Hey man, what's wrong? You were just doing so good." And he's like, "I told you I wasn't that good." And so he takes the shoebox and leaves. And Trevor is just insane enough to somehow get the idea that it's the shoes.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So Trevor breaks into the orphanage where Lil Bow Wow Calvin is, and steals the shoes, and he puts them on. It's one size fits all apparently.
Yeah,
And
I mean they're magic
now,
shoes. Of course they're gonna adjust sizes.
yeah, I mean, why not? They got struck by lightning and gave him Michael Jordan powers. So now Trevor has Michael Jordan powers, which, if you want some elaboration on what that could mean for him, it's like you put in a cheat code in GTA that gives him like a super jump or something. So he's like, he's jumping like Superman
I get
or
that.
whatever. He's getting that air. He's Air Jordan now. And so he starts being the king of the court. And Calvin is like, "You stole my shoes." And he's like, "What do you mean? They fit me. Why would you have shoes that are twice your size?" And this basically results in a brawl where Trevor, unfortunately, is beating the crap out of just some kid for shoes. And that's really where this goes. And like, yes, that's
Like,
kind of dark and
like
vaguely
10-year-old
inappropriate.
Bow punch in the face repeatedly. By
Yeah,
this,
and I mean, it's not like Lil Bow Wow's going to hear this. But yeah, Trevor is just, he's beating up Lil Bow Wow, and it's, he immediately gets the 5 stars, and the cops come. But he's got Michael Jordan shoes, so it doesn't matter. And
he just jumps away.
yeah, he just jumps away. And So eventually, now that he's gotten away with this heinous yet realistic for the character crime, he he's gotten away with it, and now he's become a NBA star. And well, since GTA 5, when did that come out? 2014?
13.
2013. Michael Jordan's not really playing anymore.
No.
So, he is the new Michael Jordan. He's now showing up Michael Jordan despite being a like bald, disgusting white guy from like the boonies.
Yes.
And so now he's, making huge bucks being the greatest basketball player without, putting any effort into it.
Yep. Okay.
And probably just to make it as chaotic as possible. Once he's finally made like enough money to be satisfied, he burns the shoes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man.
In front of little Bow Wow.
He finds little Bow Wow to then burn the shoes.
Yes, and that is Trevor versus Calvin, Little Bow Wow's character in Like Mike. This is why I've made the show.
Specifically, this is why we're here.
Yes, I've been waiting and waiting for the Like Mike character to show up, and I'm not disappointed.
How has he been on your list since the beginning?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Every time I finish a recording session, I just remove everyone that we used those episodes, and I add in more. And some have just stayed since the beginning. And Like Mike Kid has been one of those characters.
Did you have it written down as Like Mike Kid? Or a Little Bow Wow Like Mike?
He is on the list officially as Little Bow Wow's character in Like Mike.
All right.
Because I feel like saying that amount of words makes it funnier.
Yes. Absolutely. The more words, the better.
Exactly. All right. Well, I guess it's your turn. I hope you get something just as wild.
Yes. Okay.
So, I'm spinning the wheel.
Yep.
And okay. Glad to get this one over with. It is the Leprechaun. As
From
in
the Leprechaun?
Yeah, the Leprechaun as in like the horror movies called Leprechaun.
Leprechaun. Okay. I have Arnold Schwarzenegger as Conan the Barbarian.
Huh. I feel like this can only really go one way.
No, I don't think so.
Perhaps not. Let's see.
Okay, so the Leprechaun itself is a mythical creature.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, he is.
And so you don't know, like, is he one of many? Is he timeless? Is he a race of people? Like hobbits?
Yeah. Right.
You don't exactly know, especially since it seems to be the same leprechaun in every movie.
Yes.
So what that tells me is that he's ageless. He's basically immortal.
Yeah.
And
I think what it is
also probably been around since ancient fucking Sumerian times where Conan the Barbarian's from.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I think the main things with the Leprechaun movie, it's the same Leprechaun because it is that Leprechaun's gold. I believe there is more than one Leprechaun, but it's because this particular one's gold keeps getting stolen every time. That's why he keeps coming back. Like every Leprechaun has a pot of gold that they protect, and I guess this one's just really bad at it.
Well, he keeps getting killed, shit just keeps happening to him. Like he keeps losing the movie.
Well, he wouldn't have to keep coming back if people wouldn't keep stealing his gold.
It's true. And he does keep losing his gold. So,
yeah.
Conan the Barbarian, being king of, wherever the fuck he's from.
Yeah.
I can't say I'm familiar with Conan lore, but
I believe he's king of the Late Show, or
nope, different
late
Conan.
night talk show.
Nope, not quite. Anyways, I see what you did there. So, Conan the Barbarian. What the fuck just happened? I just got headshotted. Anyway, Conan the Barbarian. Him being king of all he conquers and like master of the realm and all that shit. He gets a lot of tributes. He gets a lot of, I guess, pillaged goods. He gets a lot of things given to him. He also gets a lot of things that he just takes from his conquerors. His spoils of victory, if you will.
Of course.
So one day he just conquers Ireland, and that includes this leprechaun's little village where his gold is stored.
Oh, shit.
And as soon as Conan grabs that little pot of gold, that's when shit starts hitting the fan. His royal advisors just start getting picked off one by one. His comrades in battle, he doesn't know what's going on because Conan the Barbarian is used to the one-on-one fights, out on the battlefield. 1v1 me, bro, with a sword.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's not used to this guerrilla warfare, espionage, like tricky shit that the leprechaun does. Like it's not in his wheelhouse,
Yeah.
So, eventually he just finds someone, like one of his like mystics, to like kind of tell him like what is going on, what is happening. And the mystic tells him that because of this last village that he just plundered and the gold that he took from it, that he's been cursed with this leprechaun trying to get it back. And that's who's been killing everyone around him. And so in an effort to try and trap this leprechaun and try and kill it, he brings the pot of gold out into the battlefield and just drops it in the field. He's like, "Come get me! Come at me!" This is basically Predator, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
It's a leprechaun.
Get to the chopper.
Come get me, you son of a bitch! You killed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar! Now face me, man to man!
Oh!
Oh!
Oh, it's beautiful.
And, then they fight.
And then they fight.
We're not getting into whether or not the leprechaun gets, cleaved in half, because that's probably how it's going to end up. But he's going to give Arnold a hard time.
Oh, he would. The leprechaun does not fight with honor.
Oh, absolutely not.
And as the leprechaun holding one of the reputations as one of the worst horror icons.
One of the worst.
Because the leprechaun really sucks. Like, none of the leprechaun movies are good. They're just stupid.
Oh, yeah. Can you believe they went to the hood twice?
Yeah, he went to the hood and then back to the hood. And then he went to space.
I thought he went into space in between the hood movies.
Yes, I believe so.
Jesus Christ.
I believe Leprechaun has also gone to Vegas, but I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. Okay. That actually kind of makes sense. Somehow.
Does it make sense, or does it make more sense than going back to the hood? We'll never know.
He left the hood and he went back to the hood.
Yes, to the hood. Which I've seen about the first 5 minutes of one of those, and
you don't even know which one it is.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of the hood ones, probably the first one. I don't know. I'll have to dig into the Leprechaun box set and dig it out. But um, the Leprechaun does not fight with honor, and I feel like he's just annoying enough to have a bit of an edge over Conan because Conan does not
He's not a strategy guy.
yeah, but he's also not used to something just being so irritating.
Yeah.
That and small as well,
Yeah.
because
He used to fight
Arnold,
like big monsters and shit like that, you know?
yeah, because this is Arnold Schwarzenegger's version, so I'm going by Arnold Schwarzenegger size.
Right.
He's probably like 4 times the size of Warwick Davis or
Yeah.
whoever plays the Leprechaun. I
He's
think
not
it's
even
Warwick
all that
Davis.
tall comparatively, you know? Like, he's not a tall person.
Yeah, but he's a big dude regardless.
Yeah. He's like massive size, complete wise. Yes.
Yeah. And then you've got and then depending on the version of the Leprechaun you're using, I think it's either Warwick Davis or Hornswoggle.
Yes. The from the WWE produced version of
Yes.
Leprechaun.
Wow, that's pretty good. I didn't for a second I didn't think that the Leprechaun would give Conan a run for his money, but
He absolutely would.
we know that Conan is just he's too ruthless to put up with the Leprechaun's tricks for very long, because a lot of the Leprechaun's kills are done because whoever the Leprechaun is killing just allows him to set that up. Like, I believe in the first movie he kills someone by like getting on a pogo stick and like jumping on him a bunch of times,
Christ.
and like the guy only died because he allowed the Leprechaun to get on the pogo stick and like didn't do anything about it.
Well, yeah.
Like, he's on a pogo stick, you push him. So Conan is not going to put up with the Leprechaun's tricks for very long.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
He'll start confused, but
He will not
then
sit there and tolerate.
cleaved in twain.
Yeah.
All right, so some we've had some good matchups. We've had some good matchups this episode.
For sure.
So
some that actually make more sense than you think.
yeah, we've so this would be the fourth one, right?
Let's see. We did Carl Winslow versus Moses Lack.
Yeah.
We did Conan versus Leprechaun.
Mm-hmm. And like Mike.
And like Mike versus Trevor.
Okay.
That's 3.
All right. So this would be the fourth one then, and that would make it on me. So go ahead and spin the wheel.
Okay, so I have Hicks from Aliens. That's Michael Bihn's character in Aliens.
Okay. I've got the red and yellow M&M.
The red and yellow M&M.
Yeah. So the guys from the commercials.
Yes.
The M&Ms. Just refresh me real quick on your character, like what exactly he is. What does he do in Aliens again, real quick?
Okay, so Hicks is like the lead Marine, right? He's
Okay.
He's Corporal Hicks, right? He's in charge after Sergeant Apone gets fucking killed. He's trying to keep everything calm. He's kind of got like a little fling going on with Ripley throughout the whole movie.
All right.
And the only Marine that makes it in the end, even though he's horribly like burned by acid.
Okay. Does he have? So he is a fighter though. Like,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like
okay, perfect.
he's
I've got
a leader of men.
this. Okay, I've got a scenario.
Okay?
I've got this. Okay, so so he's hungry, and he oh my god, I forgot his name again. Okay, who what's his name?
Hicks.
Hicks. Okay. So Hicks so after the events of Aliens, he knows that there has to be more aliens out there.
Yes.
And they they've somehow crafted this like convoluted. It doesn't matter because it's just like it's sci-fi. Like this way to take like alien DNA
Mm-hmm.
and find more of them.
Okay.
Right. Um, I think this
Tracker.
is fun because yeah, some sort of tracker that like goes to other planets, right? And by the way, I do think this is fun because this is now the third person from Alien, from the Alien franchise that we've used. We've used Ellen Ripley. She went against Steve Urkel. We've used the Xenomorph, and now we're using Hicks.
Yeah.
All right, so they make like a tracker, and he sees that there's a planet where one of them where there might be some eggs. So he goes there, and this planet is bright red, and it kind of has like an oblong shape. This is the M&M planet.
Okay.
So he lands there, and everyone's an M&M. They're M&Ms, and so they go around, and they are Hicks is he's actually insulting the M&M people because he's not adhering to the M&M custom of being an M&M.
don't don't eat anyone.
Yeah, let's not let's not even think about it. He's basically he's an outsider, and he showed up. He's uninvited, and he's being kind of rude to the M&M people.
Right. Because
And
they look like aliens. He's very
yeah,
suspicious of them.
right. So he thinks that maybe the M&Ms could kill him. Who knows? But I mean, they're M&Ms. They're just candy, and they're just mad because he's being an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
But he does the tracker, and he finds the eggs and a face hugged M&M. This much like the Thundercats scenario we've already talked about, a M&M xenomorph comes out, and it's it's a xenomorph, but it's nice and chocolatey, and it melts in your mouth, but not in your hands.
But what's melting is acid. So it melts.
Yes, yeah, it's a acidic chocolate, and this just won't do. It's dispatched very quickly because it is a xenomorph mixed with an M&M, so therefore it has no combat prowess whatsoever. It's useless. It's an abomination, really. It's dispatched of very quickly.
It is a blight on God.
Yes, exactly. This is what happens. Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created? Said Steve Buscemi in Spy Kids 2. I can't believe I'm fucking talking about this. So they get rid of the eggs. At this point, they're pros. They get rid of the eggs, and this caused a ruckus. So the M&M police show up,
Uh-huh.
and they see the body of the face hugged M&M, and they're like, "You killed one of us." So they apprehend Hicks somehow with like little candy cuffs.
I mean, he's cooperating, right?
Yeah,
Because he's trying to tell them like, no, I just saved all your lives.
right. And they don't believe him.
Right.
Um, so they're like, we need to take you, to our leaders who just happen to be the red and yellow M&M.
Yes, of course.
And so he stands trial before before the red and yellow M&Ms.
Uh-huh.
And so they decide. So Red's like, you stand before us for killing one of our kind. And the yellow one's like, I guess
I feel
we'll
like you have a better Billy West impersonation than that.
I can't. So he's like, yeah, you stand accused of killing one of our kind, and the yellow M&M's like, maybe we should execute him. So Hicks from Aliens is now faced with beheading by the M&Ms, and I added the M&Ms to my list today before we started recording, and I didn't think that this is what would come of it. Um, so he he stands he stands on the execution platform by the M&Ms, and I guess at this point he's like put up with this. And the M&M like version of a execution platform or like a guillotine is not something that like affects a person. It's like a Twizzler or something. It's like plastic. And so it goes down because they're like, yes, he's guilty of the crime, and it just kind of like bounces off him. And he's like mildly irritated. So he decides, enough is enough, and breaks free of his candy cuffs, which are like nerds rope. And
this whole candy planet that's dominated by anthropomorphic M&Ms.
Yes, yeah, Candy Planet, M&M Planet. I'm sure there's an M&M like mini like nerds rope type thing. I don't see why not.
Mm-hmm.
So he breaks free, and he just starts. So anyway, he started blasting, and he just so he's kicking Eminem ass left and right, and eventually he finds the red and the yellow Eminem, who now put up a fight because they've been around for a while. They've got some experience. They've seen Santa Claus, and have dealt with many other oddities in the past. So the red and the yellow Eminem are like 2v1 against Hicks, and eventually he just gives a swift like Sparta kick, like a boot to yellow, and that busts into his peanut center.
Yeah.
And Red's like, what have you done? And so but this is when we learn that Hicks's fears of an alien planet are justified, because Red goes crazy and like starts consuming the remains of the yellow M&M.
Oh my god.
And like visually, and it makes him more powerful than he was before. He now has the power of chocolate and peanut butter.
Oh my god.
And he's really big now. Like he's towering over Hicks. Not like, well, maybe not towering, but like a foot taller or so. And he's ripped. This is a M&M that's like shredded. And so
I noticed that like to level things out, you like to power people up.
yeah, and I'm not done yet either. So he gets blasted. It's not enough. Basically, it's a front. I mean, because he's still an M&M, but
Yes.
he gets thrown into the crowd of injured and dead M&Ms that have been destroyed earlier, and he's like, "Join me, brothers," and they all like form together and turn into the biggest powerhouse of the M&M planet, who is Eminem, the rapper.
Oh no. Oh no.
So now we've got a kaiju-sized Marshall Mathers rampaging on the M&M planet after
Godzilla.
Hicks. Yeah, like Godzilla. And he's chasing after him. He's still made of candy, but he is indeed Eminem. And Jesus Christ.
So fucking good.
I'm trying. I'm trying so hard to make it even, just make it worse. So Hicks is now running from Godzilla-sized Eminem, who is now spitting out his hit single Godzilla, and also other Eminem isms like it looks like an apple, but it's not. It's a peach. Ooh. Now this looks like a job for me. My name is what? And just shouting out a bunch of just Eminem isms, and Hicks gets back on the ship. Ripley gets back on the ship, and they're just like, we just have to go. Let's go. We can't take it.
This has escalated.
Yeah, this has escalated beyond the xenomorph outbreak, and now, like the xenomorphs, the M&Ms have now spread planet to planet. There's not a single planet that's not M&M.
I thought that it was going to be a completely different direction, like starting at the what was it, at the execution like platform. Right?
Yeah.
I thought what was going to happen there is that the threat of xenomorph M&Ms was going to take hold, and then the whole place is going to be overwhelmed with xenomorph M&Ms.
Right.
And so, like, that would force Hicks to like fight back, fighting against a bunch of like xenomorph M&Ms at that point. But you took it in a totally different direction. I like the way you ended up at.
Yeah, I didn't want it to just end up being a xenomorph M&M, because on this show we've had xenomorph Steve Urkel and xenomorph Snarf. And I feel like we can only fight so many xenomorph versions of stupid ass characters.
I don't know, man. It worked pretty well.
So I decided to have all the M&Ms form into Eminem, the rapper, which also is the second time that Eminem has appeared on this show. In case you're wondering, at the time of recording this, it hasn't been released, but it will be by the time this episode is released. We have B Rabbit, Eminem's character from 8 Mile, versus Akuma from Street Fighter.
Ooh, that's good.
And that's a pretty fun one. I'm a big fan. But yeah, so that's how Hicks from the Alien franchise takes on the yellow and red M&Ms, and then somehow eventually Eminem himself.
All right, this has gotten out of hand. It's 9 o'clock.
This is probably the most out there that one of these episodes has gone.
That's pretty good. I really enjoyed this. This is great.
All right. Well, that does it for this episode. I've been Joseph. This is my good friend Jose. Jose, go ahead and plug your stuff. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah. Well, my name is Jose DeGracia. You can find me at Lucha Verde on Twitter or at the Lucha Verde on Instagram. You can also follow my bar, Rec Room Jacks. We need all the support we can get. Twitch.tv/Rec Room Jacks. We're playing a lot of games on there right now. I'm going through Final Fantasy VII Remake. And, if you're in Jacksonville or Florida in general, come on in and check out the bar, Rec Room. It's a fantastic place. A nostalgia-themed arcade bar. We got consoles, we got arcade machines, we got pinball, we got all kinds of shit. So, come check it out.
Yep. It certainly is an amazing place, and if you can't get there, make sure you can.
Yes, that's right. The main thing. Get here.
Right. Yeah. If you can't get there, get there.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you again for being on the show, Jose.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. This is great.
And we'll see you next time and see if we can possibly top M&M Planet.
Can't we do more xenomorphs?
I mean, as long as we don't run out of characters from Alien. I think we've covered the big three.
It's really good.
I mean, I
It's really
guess
good.
the alien queen is still up for grabs.
Yeah, that's still up there. And then I want to say Bishop, perhaps.
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 And maybe someone from Alien 3.
I don't know anyone's names from Alien 3, but I do know Winona Ryder and Alien Resurrection. So
We
there's that.
also have not used the Predator yet, who is related.
Ooh, yes.
All right. Well, we'll see you all next time.